Welcome everyone to another discussion with Streaming Made Easy. I'm Marion Ranchet. This is live from IBC 2025, and I'm super happy to have two good friends and partners with me. Gijs Davelaar from Media Press Group. Hi, Gijs.
Hello there.
And my good friend from the UK, my young friend from the UK.
Not as young as I live.
I'm the oldest millennial. You're
Mid-millennial.
Mid-millennial.
Yeah.
Matthew Duhig from FX Digital. Hey guys, how are you?
Really well, yeah. Good, thanks. Tired after an exhausting few days.
Yeah.
Doing streaming medias on the Thursday has added an additional day to my IBC.
I know.
Which is stretched out.
I know.
All worth it.
So for those who are, not familiar with IBC, it is starting usually on Friday up until Monday. We did the Streaming Made Easy live on Thursday as a ramp up, essentially. But I agree with you. It makes things even more tiring. Are you guys going to be there tomorrow? Is there some action on Monday?
A lot still.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll be home, on my couch watching movies.
On Tuesday, I'm off to RDK Summit as well.
Oh
so
my God.
another conference in
That's
Amsterdam.
a full week for you guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So for those who don't necessarily know what is IBC, what do you guys do here?
Yeah. So we're here obviously as a media press group to explain how the industry can start collaborating rather than building more and more silos. And we do that with metadata automation. So that's basically our goal is a lot of education across the supply chain to explain how things can be improved and how metadata can drive that transformation process.
So we're here as FX Digital to talk about connected TV mostly, and younger audiences, of course. We've got a booth, and we basically just try and spread the good word as much as possible to connect with partners and friends, and to grow our network essentially.
And so before coming here, were you looking to meet someone in particular? And when I say that, it can be a person, and you can name them out. But is it a type of organization that you were expecting to meet? So if so, who was that? And did you meet anyone you did not expect, and you're coming out of this like thrilled because it's bringing a new business, a new potential partner, anything?
Yeah, so I guess interestingly for us, I look forward to coming to Amsterdam to meet loads of people that I should be meeting back in London that are based in like the BBC and ITV and Channel 4. But I think the reality is you get super busy back at home, and the great thing about IBC is that all the people you need to meet are in the same location at the same time. So you spend a lot of time trying to catch up with people you've already met. One surprising thing for us that I've seen from this conference is that I would say, whilst we're here to talk about connected TV and the applications that we design and build, most of our conversations have been about the test automation technology that we have and the service that we provide, which kind of suggests that people are looking for innovative ways of solving some of those deeper problems that reside due to fragmentation in the industry, which kind of goes back to your point of standardization.
Yeah, and for us it was really like, okay, we already were quite packed with all the meetings because of all the big team of 12 people here at IBC, and then on top of that, because of also SME, we got a lot of other meetings, just people popping up. So then you have to really balance between suddenly the biggest streamer of India popping by, or another company who comes by, and then you have an appointment made. So juggling between those different kind of priorities is, I think, beautiful to see. All the traction, I think, is really helping us also to see that we're on the right path in the transformation that we think the industry needs for metadata. And in the end, it's fun to see all those faces and different use cases, because that's really, once the industry starts to understand the complexity, how they can bring the complexity down by regaining control over the metadata, whether you're a studio, broadcaster, streamer, telco, or a CTV platform, they all struggle with similar kind of problems, but they're each individually have their own use case, and we can show that, let's say, that how that collaboration could work, and that's really beautiful, because you really see that aha moment suddenly at the booth. So that's really nice to see.
What do you think is stopping that collaboration though, historically in the industry? Because it's become so fragmented over time.
Well, the reality is I mean, this started as a print business, so it was really TV guides that your parents and your grandparents read. And you won't believe how many people still read print TV guides. Like that's millions still across Europe or internationally. but from printed TV guys, basically there was not a single broadcaster back in the days interested in TV schedules, because it was always they had always their basic, let's say, distribution fees or feeds available at the telco. Obviously, that whole game has changed from linear to on demand. From on demand, there is a creator media kind of competition. So the whole spectrum has changed, and as a result, they start to realize, especially now, that regaining control can help them not just to solve their internal problems, but really drive that industry collaboration, the transformation of their business models, search and recommendation improvements, and I think in the end also the monetization across the industry, because that's why we all eat from that perspective of, okay, what is the best model that works today, and what is the future model, and how can you drive that in a way to collaborate rather than to compete?
I want to double click on the monetization part, because what I'm noticing here, it's a lot about enabling, accelerating, optimizing, right? So essentially you are working a certain way, you're improving all of that. And I haven't seen a lot of, technology and companies driving that conversation from the angle of the monetization, besides you, actually. And maybe your friends at Broadpeak.
Yeah.
I've also spoken with the team at Uspace and Bedrock, and they were looking at another acronym. So I had to ask twice, because I was like, and it's a mouthful, because it's server guided ad insertion. So SGI, awful for me to pronounce that.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe something that is a bit missing. I feel like the ad technology is less prominent than everything else, when at the end of the day, we're here to make money.
Yeah, well, there's another exhibition 2 days from now. That's the Mexico. It's in Köln. It's for the ad insertion or the advertising industry. That shows.
Are you going there?
Yes.
Oh,
that's why the silos are so clear there. But to come back to your point, I think it's really interesting also in the discussion that we had with Alan Walk, with NVIDIA and with Veritone, that you really realize that indeed they're not. A lot of companies look at it from a technology standpoint, and the reality is, what we see happening today is not. Of course, it's a technology change, but in the end, it's a business transformation. It's a change program at its own across the whole industry or within your organization. And how can you drive that when you're a CFO, a CEO, or when you have to select your metadata vendor or your testing partner? So that is the complexity, and explaining that to the industry, how you can collaborate, is obviously not the easiest task. But I think more and more organizations start to understand it, and they realize we'd rather solve the foundation first before we think of another silo building on top of.
But I guess we're also seeing lots of consolidation in the market now. I'm always surprised when I come to IBC. I think just now it's the Bending Spoons acquisition of Vimeo. Before that it was Brightco. So maybe if we fail to standardize, consolidation will happen so much so that there will eventually be standards forced upon us.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, in the end, I'm strongly a believer that a pluriform media landscape is better for everyone.
Agree, yeah.
But in general, obviously, you'll see the global scalers, and I think it's really important for every organization to have their strategy defined, where they can coexist and they have them as a partner for publication or reach, but at the same time, they also have their own strategies around how they can monetize and survive on their own. Yeah.
All right. So we're about to wrap up. If I can have you be a bit future looking, right? And you don't have to go too far, but we're meeting again next year. What are we saying to future us, in September 26th? What will be kind of, the one thing you will keep your eye on? What is going to be the main focus for each of you guys? And then if you look at, the broader industry, what is the one thing that they should tackle next year?
I think for me, so we primarily are based and focused on the connected TV space. And I'm sensing innovations coming to TV. I know that Google announced the kind of always on screen and the far field audio that's enabling some more general purpose functionality in their devices. And I wouldn't be surprised if, looking at a year from now, we're talking more about conversational AI being a part of the TV in a bigger way, which could potentially open up opportunities for a TV to become a bit more general purpose and provide functionality beyond just video and audio streaming, and potentially allow us to do things like book holidays or shop through voice when in the room of other people. So that's super exciting for us. I don't know about...
So more of a push and pull, and not just always the end user interacting with the TV, but very much a full circle.
Exactly, yeah.
What's funny is that on Thursday, when you showcased insights from that survey about how younger audiences, what they were expecting from the TV, you had that connection. And that was fascinating. Everyone was telling you, yeah, but we know, right?
Yeah.
We've been at this for years. And yet on Saturday, I think Google made that announcement, and you're the second person that is mentioning that maybe this is taking voice and that TV interaction to the next level.
I think there's appetite from younger audiences for these devices to do more for them. I guess if you are a younger audience and you're used to having a mobile phone that's just so feature rich, when you get into your home and you're sat in front of a television that can stream audio and video,
and you need
it's a
that
bit
remote.
like,
That remote.
it feels so old school.
Yeah, and what we're describing basically to a lot of those publishers is that with adopting OpenID, you can, in fact, you can bring the lead in from social media platforms like TikTok, Twitch, Snapchat, Crunchyroll. You can have, let's say, different target groups, still have the same metadata strategy where you tie all the different IDs from those different platforms all together so that you have a full 360 understanding of how content travels, what brings really, let's say, the lead from short form to long form in your, let's say, monetization strategies. So hopefully next year, if you ask me, I would say we see more and more industry collaboration. We see operators partnering, in fact, together on a larger scale, building reach across countries, across content platforms. Because in the end, I think the scale is needed for, let's say, a pan-European, but a LATAM industry, Asian industry to survive in the bigger, let's say, big tech changes that we see. And I think it's good for all of the companies out there to really realize, like, not what is my current winning game, but what is my future winning game.
I love that. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of collaboration, and I've been asked that question by someone else, and so you haven't asked, but I will give you my answer. And actually, it does not pertain to operators, but it's the other side of the equation, which is the broadcasters. And I've long pushed for in-market collaboration, but what I'm seeing is that the scale of the global players is getting so big that even that is not enough. So I'd love to skip one level and take that at a European level.
Correct.
Yeah.
And but that's from a European lens. I think in general for the US it's no different. Like you still have silos in the US ecosystem as well.
They're taking the consolidation route that Matt was mentioning, right? So over the weekend we had the news that Paramount was gearing up to buy Warner Bros. Discovery. So clearly the US is not going into the collaboration route.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, if you look at the CTV platforms globally, there's not a single American brand on the CTV market. So they also have to realize that
you have Vizio, but they are very much limited to the US. Having said that, they were bought by Walmart.
Yeah,
and I think
that's the only one.
Watch
this
this
is
space.
a big one. Yeah, watch this space. This is a big one. We haven't seen anything yet, but I think this could be an interesting one. Also, what I didn't know is that Walmart actually has a presence outside of the US, which I did not know. So that means that we could be seeing a Vizio, venturing outside of the US.
Yeah.
Guys, that was amazing. We're coming to an end for this session, but for IBC, again, thank you so much for coming to SME Live, being so great partners. Super happy to see that you had a lot of traction with your teams, meetings, etc. I even heard that a deal was made on the spot.
Yes.
Matt, I don't want to say anything, but I heard
Don't
about
jinx
that.
it.
From Tom. I won't say anything, but we were with the team at Irdeto and Bengo before, and Steve said, no deals are being made here. It's more like continuing the conversation,
Yeah.
pushing, etc. So if you are coming out of this with a deal, we got to celebrate.
The thing is, we've only been coming to IBC for the last 6 or 7 years, and we hear stories from people that were here 15, 20 years ago where that kind of stuff is happening, and we're like, oh, we just missed the golden years.
Yeah, well, maybe you're bringing it back.
We're bringing back the golden years, guys.
I think everyone wants that. I love it. Guys, thank you so much again. This was Streaming Made Easy. Awesome.